Hey girls, what time is it?
Adventure time.
Where are we going?
Colorado.
Alright, this is everything we're taking on the trip. We are not really taking all that much stuff because we are staying in an Airbnb, so it's mostly just pretty much clothing. So let's get the car loaded up. And this is what it looks like with all the stuff in it. So definitely the fewest things we've ever taken on a trip. And this is what the frunk looks like. Bringing the one wheel, of course, and then the extra charging cables. This pink one I don't normally bring, but where we're going, I just don't know what the electrical infrastructure will be. So if I need to charge from a standard household outlet, that'll give me some additional length. All right, we're going to be going to an Airbnb here in Dolores, Colorado, and it's down here in the Four Corners region, southwest corner of Colorado. This is a lifetime map of all of the trips that we've taken our Tesla on, and once I started vlogging with Teslafy. And if you're interested in seeing any of these trips, go look throughout our YouTube channel. I have a playlist of all the different road trips that I've made videos about on my channel. For this particular trip, we are following this line right down here that goes down through Price, Green River, and then through Moab, Utah, and then out here to the southwest corner of Colorado. Typing in that address here to the Tesla, it has us charging at the Moab supercharger, and it's estimating that we'd arrive with 10%. However, we're going to be stopping for a quick errand in Price, Utah, and so we may end up actually charging in Green River and in Moab. We want to arrive at our destination with as much charge as possible because we're unsure of what the charging infrastructure is like, so we just want to try to hedge our bets as best as we can. Let's get started. We're going through the car wash real quick to have a clean car starting out on this trip. It's also worth mentioning that we were at 100%, but right as we were starting to drive, it was at 99%, and now we're at 98%, and we're gonna get on the freeway. This first drive was 1 hour and 24 minutes and used 48% of the battery to drive 94 miles and used 37 kilowatt hours. The next drive to Green River was 59 minutes, and that used 27% of the battery to drive 67 miles and used 22 kilowatt hours. This trip was 4 days and 3 nights long, and round trip we drove 865 miles, which was 14.5 hours of driving. We used up 331 kilowatt hours of electricity round trip. 115 kilowatt hours of that was from AC charging, and 198 kilowatt hours of that was from superchargers. We have free supercharging, but at this time the superchargers cost 35 cents per kilowatt hour, so the supercharger would have cost $104.30. Typical residential electricity around here is 10 cents per kilowatt hour, so all the non-supercharger charging would have cost about $11.49. We are approaching Green River. This is what the road looks like. It's going to be too close to getting to Moab. It's estimated 4% right now, and we'd have to go too slow and stuff. So we're just going to stop at the Green River supercharger for a couple of minutes just to make sure that we can get to Moab and drive at the speed that we want to drive. All right, we're here at the Green River supercharger. We are plugged in. It looks like it peaked at right around 100 kilowatts at 22%. It's saying we need to be here for 15 minutes in order to get to Moab, and I don't know what that estimated arrival percentage is. Right now it's 0. We're gonna make sure that that's up to like at least 10% before we unplug and head to Moab. Girls, how has the drive been this first part? Did you fall asleep? Yeah? Did you have a good nap, Clara? When we get to Moab, we'll be able to explore longer, and we'll go walking down the street and seeing shops, and we'll get some ice cream and stuff, okay? The estimated arrive percentage currently is at 15%, and so we're at 38%, 73 kilowatts. We're gonna unplug and go to Moab. Oh, and we've been here for exactly 10 minutes. We got here at 2:04 and it's 2:14. That 10-minute charge at Green River put 14% into the battery, or 10.36 kilowatt hours. We then drove for 44 minutes to Moab, which consumed 26% of the battery over 52 miles and used 20.44 kilowatt hours. All right, we are just arriving here at the Moab supercharger. That red Tesla just left, and looks like there's just a Model Y here, so plenty of room. We ended up arriving here with 12%, so we dropped 3% from the estimated 15, which is fine. It looks like it's peaking at 108 kilowatts at 13%. Now, considering the last place, it peaked at 100 kilowatts, and it was, I think, around 35%. That was actually pretty fast at Green River. At this point, I'm going to navigate us to the destination, and let's see what it thinks we need to do to charge here. But the reality is we're going to be charging for pretty much just to fill up the whole battery, because we don't know what the electrical infrastructure is going to look like down here in Dolores, Colorado. We'll Be here probably for an hour though, and we'll let it charge up nearly full. And it is 102 degrees outside right now, so pretty hot. Girls, are you excited to go exploring? Girls, what do you think of your ice cream? How do you like yours, Clara? You, Lydia? What flavor did you get? Chocolate?
Chocolate chip.
And bear claw.
So there behind us is the test the charging. It's sitting at 61% right now, but we'll be letting it go up to close to 90 probably. What did you find, girls? You find some misters? This is the main drag of Moab. This is where we got our ice cream, and just right here across the street is where the supercharger is in the parking lot of this Best Western. We're hanging out in the lobby of the hotel while the car charges. What did you think of Moab?
Great.
The temperature outside is 102, so rather hot. The car is at 94%, and we've acquired 60 kilowatt hours of energy. It's estimating 15 more minutes to get to 100%. But we're going to be arriving at 38% at our destination, and we will be able to charge there, of course, in order to be able to get back here to Moab. But we're just going to unplug and go because we don't want to wait anymore. Looking at the charge rate, we're at 8 kilowatts, and at home we have about 9.5 kilowatt charge rate. So this is actually slower than when we're at home, and that's just simply because of the charge percentage that we're at. That charge in Moab was 1 hour and 27 minutes long and added 82% to the battery, or 59.66 kilowatt hours. The following drive was 1 hour and 35 minutes long and consumed 59% of the battery to drive 105 miles, or 46 kilowatt hours.
Clara's window? It's a Corona arch.
All right, we are approaching the house. It has cooled off a lot outside. It's 82 degrees now, and we're just arriving at 32. Well, it's estimated will be 30% by the time we get there. When we get there, we're going to unpack our things and then look to see what electrical outlets are available to us to charge the car at this house. This road is really hilly, so it's like a roller coaster. Whoa. All right, we're approaching the house that we're staying in. It's just down this little gravel road. This is a really beautiful, picturesque area. It looks like they've been harvesting hay. And this is the house that we're staying in. Very rural farmland area. It's really cool. Girls, are you excited? All right, let's go check it out. I've investigated this Airbnb house behind me and checked for electrical outlets. And I have plugged the car in, and now what I'm going to do is show you what I discovered. And basically, in short, it's a standard household outlet. Again, we weren't able to find a 240 volt outlet within range of the car. So this is where the car is plugged in right here, and I'll show you where it goes in the house in just a second. But first, what I want to do is just point out briefly how slow this is. So we arrived at 29%, and that's where it still is, of course. And you can see it's charging at a 1 kilowatt charge rate. So it's pulling 12 amps at 113 volts right here. And so far it's pulled 1 kilowatt hour. It's been plugged in for like half an hour. So right now I have it showing how long it will take. So 23 hours to charge up to, and I have it set to, it's about 59%. So it's currently at 29, and to go up that much, it's going to take nearly 24 hours. We don't have that much time, and that's just to get to, 60%, nearly 60% on the battery, and preferably we'd get up to be, probably 90%, but it's going to take like 2 days to go from the 30% we're at to closer to 90 or 100%. In any case, before coming here, I had looked up on PlugShare and saw that just a 5-minute drive away, there is a level 2 charger that a doctor's office has available for free, and there's some other chargers in the area as well that I can utilize if I have to. So I'm going to just keep this plugged in while we're here, but when I get a break, I'm going to probably go over there and sit there charging at a level 2 charge rate at least, and that'll be closer to 10 kilowatts hopefully, rather than 1, and that'll get us up to a level that is needed to be able to handle the activities of tomorrow. We haven't completely nailed down the agenda, so I don't know how far we're driving, and I want to make sure I'm not a weak link amongst the families that we're with. There's 3 families here. We're the only electric vehicle, so I want to make sure that we can handle everything that they can handle with their vehicles. So let me show you now where I have this plugged in at. So coming out here, they have a front porch area and there's a sitting room there, and I could have run the cord in there, and there's outlets right on the inside of that wall, but I didn't want to use those simply because that's a door and people will be opening and closing it, and that's hard on cables to have doors opening and closing on the cables. So this is where it's plugged into the car, of course, and it's going along the side of the house here. And then you can see on the end of my mobile charger is the standard household outlet adapter, and then that's plugged into this beefy extension cord, and that is going along the side of the house and up there into a window. Conveniently, this window already didn't have a screen on it, and so I didn't have to do anything but just open the window and pass the wire in. So now I'm going to go around inside of the house to show you where it's going inside. It's a pretty nice Airbnb house, actually. It's quite spacious, and it's going to work well for as many families as we have. So here is that window. Wires coming in here. I have the excess wire just below this basket there, and then the wires coming out this way, across the floor, and plugged into a standard receptacle there. Like I said, there are many other standard household outlets within range. In fact, there's one right here next to the door that I just came in. But as you can see, they have a mobile air conditioner plugged in here. And so I didn't want to plug in there because I want to be able to use air conditioning, and the both combined will probably blow the circuit. In any case, let me walk you just around the house a little bit, and I'll show you what this Airbnb looks like. They've got a nice deck area here, and then around the back they have a barbecue area as well. And there's actually an upstairs area of the home over there. There's some bedrooms up there, and there's actually 2 other apartments on this home, and we just have the main part of the house. And then there's a big rumpus room here in the back. But there were no electrical outlets anywhere along the side of the house here that I could have reached with my extension cords. The outside of this home is pretty bare of any electrical connections. On the front here, they have a nice little porch area there, and that continues around over this way. And then next to it, there is a ton of electrical infrastructure, I'm sure, like welding outlets. There's all kinds of things I could be charging from over here, but that's obviously not our property. In fact, you can see that roof right there even has a whole bunch of solar panels on it, which is really cool. And then this is just really beautiful, picturesque farmland here. Looks like they're just in the process of harvesting their hay, which is cool. They have a rope swing underneath that tree right there. Really cool. Let's go inside the house and I'll show you what that looks like. Lucy, are you having fun?
I'm just letting my rocks in.
Okay. So they have a seating area here with a fireplace or stove, 2 kitchen tables, and we have a cool kitchen, and then a sunroom out this way. There's a ping pong table and a foosball table. Well, we got up to 30%, but I'm going to go ahead and just go to the level 2 charger that's nearby and just get some extra faster juice in the car just to make sure that we can handle anything that the group is doing tomorrow. I've arrived at the destination charger here, and it is still ramping up, but it looks like it's promising a 48 amp charge rate, which is fantastic. And we're really high on the voltage too at this location. That's great that it's 245 or so volts. And so yeah, it looks like it's getting up there. And so that's going to be a total of 12 kilowatts, which is fantastic. It's up to the full 48 amps, 11 kilowatts now, and we're at 29%, and it's estimating 4 hours to get to 90%. I'm probably going to end up staying here for, I don't know, probably 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And we'll see how much electricity I can get in the meantime. And why don't I show you what the charger looks like here. So there's just this side of the building here, and they have a Gen 3 wall connector here, which is fantastic. They have a nice sign up here. It's just here on the back side of this doctor's office, and there's the highway right off the side. It is now almost 11 p.m. It's at about 10:44, and so I've been here for just over 2 hours. We've acquired 25 kilowatt hours, which is worth about $2.50. So it's estimating that if I were to stay here for another 2 hours, that it would get to 90%. If I turn off the HVAC system, that number will change slightly, but it's not going to change much because I have the HVAC set to 72, and outside it's actually only 73 right now, so not that different. Just the fan on, really. We have enough electricity, I think, for the amount of charging I'm going to get tonight, have been plugged into a standard household socket, and then the amount of driving that we'll be doing tomorrow. Alright, I'm back to the house and plugged in. It's 11:02 and the car's at 60%. Well, it's 11:06, so haven't been charging very long, and I got reduced charge rate. It went down to 9 amps, probably because too much voltage dropped. So I have to find a different outlet. A lot of the outlets in this house are heavily taxed right now from window air conditioners. It is now 11:14 p.m. Got it plugged into a totally different circuit on the back side of the house now, and we're at a healthy 114 volts, so that's good. I mean, I'd rather it be 120, but better than 109, 110 that it was. In any case, it looks like this circuit is going to work, and you can see here it's now just shy of 24 hours. So it basically takes 24 hours on a standard household socket to go from 60% to 90%. So we'll get what we can tonight, and we'll be ready for our adventure tomorrow. It's the next morning, and we're up to 74%. We have acquired 10 kilowatt hours of electricity. We're going to be going to the Canyons of the Ancients, so it's estimating that we'll get there at 69%. We're going to be doing some other things, though. We don't really know what all today, so we'll see how it goes. This drive was only 14 minutes and consumed 7% of the battery to go about 10 miles, and that consumed about 5 kilowatt hours. We were driving by, and there is this field of Tin Men sculptures, which is kind of cool. You can see down here, there's some big structures that they've actually built for the display. Hey girls, what do you think of this place?
I like it.
Yeah? What's your favorite sculpture you've seen? Clara is pointing at this bike seat head alien. They've done a really impressive job with this place. There's a lot of different sculptures. They're really creative and fun. This is the Saloon Opera House. It is a type of grass, and it's going to seed. It's really pretty, huh? This is a really cool pond that has, of course, sculptures in it as well. We've arrived at the Canyons of the Ancients National Monument. And here's the visitor center. Looks like there is a trail here we're gonna take and go check it out.
Oh, then here and here and here.
Yeah, let's go do it. Here is the half-mile hike up above the Canyons of the Ancients Monument Visitor Center, showing some ancient ruins here. And it's got a great view here up on this hill, and you can look out across this reservoir here behind it. And there's a little shade too. This is the view up here. There's the visitor center directly below, and they've got a lot of solar panels on it, which is cool. Hey Clara, what is that in your hand?
A ducky.
What is the name of your ducky?
Quick check house in my hand.
Oh,
Quick Quack Car Wash in My Hand is his name.
Yeah.
that's a unique name.
That's silly.
That's a long name, don't you think? Yeah. We are back in the car, and we're headed to a hike that we're going to do. This is the Sand Canyon Pueblo is what it's called, and the car is estimating that we'll arrive at 58%. So we'll see how it goes. This drive took 23 minutes to drive 20 miles and used 9% of the battery, which is 6.48 kilowatt hours. We're at Sand Canyon Pueblo now, and let's go on this little hike. It's actually a 6-mile hike. And we are not going to do the whole thing, obviously, because we have a pretty big group and mostly small children. As it turns out, this location, the ruins are so far ruined that it really just feels like you're walking through open desert. There's been plaques here and there along the trail, and it has a very clearly marked trail, as you can see right here. But the plaques that are along the side of it say, "You are here," and then you look out at what you're looking at and it just looks like desert. So a little on the disappointing side. Here's an example. That's a pile of rocks right there. That's probably an old building. Same goes for right there. But it has no recognizable shape as to being a building still. Here is an example plaque right here. Let's see what this has to say. Yeah, see right here? You are here. And so it shows like a whole village, and yet I've just been walking through it and there's nothing to look at hardly. Here are the most recognizable pueblos I've seen. You can see this is a depression right here and another depression right there. And there's some others past it, but wow, these are really far gone. All right, we are back in the car after having done that hike. The car is currently sitting at 58%, and we're going back for lunch to our Airbnb house, and it's estimated that we'll get there at 52%. Hey girls, what did you think of this place we just explored?
Great.
The drive back was 20 minutes to go 16.4 miles, and that used 8% of the battery, or 6.15 kilowatt hours. Well, we're done with lunch, and we're back in the car, and we're heading to Dolores, Colorado, to go swimming. So we're going to this particular location to do some tube rentals, and then we'll be heading to a tube down this river right here, I think. We drove for 9 minutes and drove 7 miles into Dolores. All right, we got our tubes. We have one here in the back along with the pump. There's another one in the front of the car that's deflated. We'll pump up in a second. And we're all getting ready, getting our sunscreen on. Hey Lucy, it's a little too shallow, huh? Lydia, are you having fun yet? Sometimes it gets really shallow, huh? Are you having fun? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. All right, here we go. There's some fast water right here, Lid. Woo! There we go. Was that fun? Yeah. Lydia, are you having fun? You are? You were kind of scared in the beginning, huh? Hi. Oh, hey, Lucy. Are you swimming? I think I just felt rain. Yeah, I'm feeling rain. At least we can just jump out anytime. There's like city right next to us. This water is so shallow. We're going a little fast, so be careful you don't smack your feet or your knee on a rock, okay? Sarah, are you having fun? So relaxing, huh? Whoa! Oh, big drop off. I'm back in the car. We went down the river for about a mile, had lots of fun. We had a car come and pick us up and take us back to our car, so I'm back in our Tesla, going back to where Jessica and the girls are. This is where we ended our tubing run, and the girls are all over here in the car. Hey girls, did you have fun tubing? Did you get cold at the end? Yeah, it got kind of cloudy and stormy, huh?
And look at my fingers.
What was your favorite part about tubing?
Hills.
The hills?
That splashed my face.
When we went down the rapids and it splashed you? Yeah, that was fun. We then drove 9 minutes or 7.3 miles and used 2% of the battery or 1.68 kilowatt hours. We're heading back to the Airbnb house, but look at this really cool thunderstorm that's coming through. Glad we weren't on the river with that coming through. Was that your first time ever going tubing? We're navigated back to the house, and we're only 2 miles away basically at this point. We're going to be arriving at 41% on the battery.
Grade 12, the teacher, I'm going to be the teacher, so it's where the teacher
Oh, good flipping, Clara.
Oh. Oh. You having fun, Lucy?
You want to go higher? Should I spin you? Higher?
Good.
That's good. Okay, now she said that was good.
That window right there goes into a kitchen of a side apartment that's currently vacant. And so I was able to run the charger cable here, you can see, for the Tesla. This part of it is 20 feet long, and that's what comes with the car. And you can see there we have the green light, so it's ready to rock and roll. And then this is the 30-foot extension cord, the end of it, and that goes here. This is the inside of that window, and because it's vacant, I just have the cord going straight across, and then it's going around here behind the dryer, and you can't really see it because of how dark it is, but it's going right into a NEMA 1030 outlet there in the back. Before charging an electric car on an electrical circuit, you should always double check the breaker to see what it's rated for. You can see here it says 30 right there. That's for 30 amps, and I turned this off and verified that the mobile charger turned off, so I know this is the correct circuit. And over here it says mid-haul dryer, so in this case that's what helped me find it, but I verified it by flicking the switch here. Due to the terrain, I needed to pull the car over there to the right side where you see it there. There were some railroad ties across there, and they were the lowest on that right side. So then after raising the air suspension all the way to the top, I was able to back the car in over to this spot where the power cord reached to. Something that is important to understand is because I am using a third-party adapter, the Tesla does not change the amperage automatically. So I come in here to the charge menu, which is the lightning bolt there, and then down here it says charge current. Now it's a 30 amp circuit, but we need to only be pulling 24 amps because according to the electrical code, if you are charging for longer than 3 hours, then you don't want to be at the circuit's maximum, you want to be at 80% of it, and that's 24 amps out of 30. So now all I need to do, push the button on it and plug it in. There it is, still estimating 7 hours. I've always noticed that when I'm in the car and these screens are on, that this time is a little bit longer. The moment I get out of the car and walk away, then this time will reduce by 15 minutes or so, usually. So at this point, 7 hours, it'll be ready to go in the morning. And charged to 100%, it looks like it's estimating 8 hours and 20 minutes. It is currently 8:26 p.m. So if it's going to take about 8 hours to get to 100%, it'll be done at about 4:30 in the morning, which is longer than I would like for the car to be sitting at 100%. And we're unsure how much range we need tomorrow, so I kind of want to just max it out to make sure that we can handle everything the whole group is doing. So probably what I'm going to do is for the remainder of while I'm awake this evening, I'm going to just let it keep charging. And then I'm going to come out here just before going to bed, and I'll change it to scheduled charging. And that way it'll be at 100% when we're ready to go tomorrow. So as an example, what that looks like, you come down here and it says schedule, and I just tap schedule, and then up here I would specify the time I want to be ready to go by, say 8 a.m. as an example, and then I hit set. And when I do that, it'll stop charging right now, and it will only start charging in time to be done by that time I have set. Here's the next morning, and we are back in the car, and today we are going to a old ruin called Longhouse. And so it's going to be an hour and 11-minute drive from where we are currently. That's what it looks like. It's estimating we'll arrive at 78%. We charged the car up to 98% last night, and it sagged down a little bit to 97. Girls, are you excited for this hike? Great. That charge overnight started at 8:24 p.m. and finished at 4:15 a.m. So that was 7 hours and 50 minutes, and it added 56% to the battery, stopping at 99%. And it added 40.73 kilowatt hours to the battery. This drive took 1 hour and 10 minutes to drive 42 miles, and that used 22% of the battery, or 16.88 kilowatt hours. We have made it. We're at the top of the trailhead. This is the Weather Wheel Mesa Road, and we're at the information center at the top. And that was like an hour of very, very windy roads. Girls, how are you feeling? So Lydia's feeling good, Lucy is sick, and Claire, how are you? So 2 of 3 are feeling sick. Luckily we're here a few minutes early so we can walk around and hopefully get feeling better, huh? Let's go check it out. Alright, we're starting the hike from the parking lot that goes for 0.7 miles to where we join up with the tour for Longhouse, and this is the sign right here showing to go this way. There's a ranger station here with information, but that's not where we're meeting. We're going to go down that road for that 0.7 miles. Are you so excited? Good. Lucy, how are you feeling now?
Better.
Oh, you're feeling better? That's fantastic. Someone's feeling better.
In the trees. Lucy, stop.
It is horses. Oh, those wild horses then? Oh. The horse right there. That's cool. This is the waiting area for Longhouse Trailhead. We just started down the trail to Longhouse. There's a crowd of people, I'm not sure how many, but I would guess maybe 25 in our group. There's the first stairway. Well, we've been hiking for about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we've arrived at Longhouse. Pretty cool.
So that would have been a way you get around. So you can kind of walk down to this one and then walk down to the next one.
Oh, I see.
Get in here, that's your door to get there. So you can walk over here, get into the kiva through this roof if you wanted to, or you could go in there and that's probably somebody's secret house where they slept. So what were the kivas? So primarily, it's like ceremonial.
You need some help? What? You need some help?
Good job, Clara.
You're doing awesome, Lid. We're coming.
We're coming, Lid. You getting scared?
Lid, look how much you did.
Hi, Lucy. These are really cool ladders. Clara, are you climbing right up that ladder? Good job.
The champion. You want to take your lunch shirt?
Good job. Right here.
You see these little doors? This is how they'd have to crawl through little doors like this
What?
to get in between the different areas.
What in the world?
So maybe you climb up this ladder and then think, I'm going to go visit Charles. You'd have to go through Charles's door to go see him.
And the names that they gave to places are the names that stuck. So they came to this place and they looked at it and they said, dang, this place is long. And so it became Longhouse. And then Step House up here by the parking lot, it has a set of steps, so it became Step House. And on the opposite side of the Mesa, there's a place called Mud House.
There's a natural spring right here. This is where they got their water for the 160 people that were estimated to have lived here. And you can see that the water is feeding little plants along here and moss along the wall. And then over here, they have these little depressions, and you can see they've scratched little rivulets out from those depressions so that the water can find its way into this lower area. And this is also where they got water to drink. And then there's their home structures around here. And this is the view from up here. You can see the community goes around the corner that way. And then they have structures down below. And then it comes up on that side.
Something like this. So these would usually have a roof on it with a hole in it where they would put a ladder in to crawl down. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe to hold the ladder still? Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, Dolores, now. You asked me one, I have a question for you. Let's look right here on this wall. Would you be tall enough to put your hand up that high? There's one down here. There's one there that's kind of wearing off. So I don't know what those are for sure, but I kind of wonder when our son was growing up, when he was about your size, we put him up beside a door and we made a mark on the wall so how tall he was.
Oh.
And then a year later we measured him again and we kept doing that for a while.
Yeah, we've done that.
I wonder if that's what they were doing here.
Oh.
Do you think that's how they measured their kids?
Because these are just
By how high their hands could reach?
Yeah. Yeah, you see the ground down there. Yeah, be real careful. Don't fall in there.
That's just the right size hole for you.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little door
Yeah.
Kiva here, this was a religious structure. It was a social one, and it was probably where the Native Americans spent their winters. Because the temperatures get really cold here, 20 below zero. If you have a fire and you just got that little opening right there,
Oh, smoky.
it's going to get really smoky. So these guys are very clever. They built that ventilator shaft, like the one we just looked at.
Yeah.
And in a kiva, there's usually this little notch, a deep notch,
Okay.
and it usually points to the south. And that one points to the south. And where that notch is where the ventilator shaft is located. Ventilator shaft goes all the way down to the floor of the kiva. Then it makes a right-hand turn and it comes out. And its job is when the hot air with the smoke is going up the opening, that's replacing the air with fresh air that's not smoky. And they built a little deflector wall down there too. That deflector wall, its job is to make the cool air go around the fire so it doesn't blow the fire out. And it also makes that cool air go around the edges of the kiva, which kind of corrals the smoky air in the middle and helps to push it out the top.
That's cool.
Always amazed at how clever ancient peoples were in designing things like that for their functionality.
So basically they built a big pizza oven and lived inside of it.
That's right.
Well, we're done with the longhouse and we're heading back up the trail, and I think that was a lot of fun, and we'll see what the kids thought of it when I catch up with them. Girls, what was your favorite part about the longhouse? The whole house?
They're like the handprints.
You like?
whole house.
How tired are you after that hike?
Very,
Yeah.
very none.
What are you eating for a snack now?
Goldfish.
You love goldfish. Lucy's still looking for what she's gonna eat. Oh, gummy snacks, fruit snacks. What did you think of the hike?
I thought it wasn't nearly as hard as the website was making it sound.
Yeah,
I think it was going to be.
they overstated it, but you know, they're dealing with the public, so.
Yeah, it was fun.
Lydia, look, it's a horse just hanging out in the trees. The girls got some Junior Ranger books and they're filling them out. What is he doing that's bad?
Picking a flower.
He's picking flowers. Yeah. What about you, Lydia? What did you circle?
Where's that bad?
Off the shelf.
Yep, he went off the trail.
When you earn your badge by learning this stuff, then you're going to get some jobs. It'll help keep this place protected. Did you see the wild horses? Yes. We have mountain lions. Did you see one? No? Those usually take a while. How about what's something on there? Yeah, good idea.
I want everybody to enjoy that.
Yes, but what happens if we pick the little red ones and the hummingbirds? That's their food. What happens? As a junior ranger, I will help take care of Mesa Verde and all national parks. Good job. Thank you. Well, now we set our promise to earn your badges. Congratulations.
Good job, girls. We just finished getting our Junior Ranger badges, or at least the girls did. And then now we're going to go down this trail to the step house. And it's a half-mile hike down this gravel trail. Girls, what do you think of the step house?
Not very big, like a...
It's not as big as the longhouse, huh?
You guys remember what these are called? These circles with the fire pit in the middle? Remember, Lucy? A kiva.
Would you girls want to live in there? No?
It'd be kind of fun to go camping in there.
Yeah, but not living.
Not living forever. Do not sit here.
Do not sit still and climb.
Right now we just have a half-mile left to get back to the car. We have now seen Longhouse and Step House. Longhouse is the one that requires a reservation, and virtually all of the other places do as well. Step House is the only one that does not. And Step House is very much simpler than Longhouse was. but considering you can just come and see it and not have to get a reservation, it's still worth coming to see, I think. So the path that we came down comes along this ridge, and then there's steps that come back down. It comes over this way, and then it comes down below, and you can see it probably right down here. And it loops around that way, and then comes up here. We are back in the car. We all had, I think, lots of fun for the most part, and we're gonna, hey Clara, we're gonna be going back in, or going into Cortez now, and we're gonna do some activities that are going on down there in town. Looking at the car, it is sitting at 75% of the battery, and we don't really have any reception here. It does say 3G, but it's not effective, so it's not working. But when we get reception, then we'll know data about what it'll be when we get there. But we're going to be going downhill a lot. Hey girls, are you glad that we came here to Mesa Verde? What was your favorite part? Going to see Longhouse. How about you, Clara? What was your favorite part? Step House and Lydia's. Oh, both of the houses. Okay, let's get on the road. As you can see in the time lapse, it took a while for the car to get data reception. This drive was 48 minutes, and that was 46 miles of driving and used 21% of the battery, or 16.32 kilowatt hours. We just arrived in Dolores, and we're going to go to some festivities that's in town. I don't really know the details. Let's go check it out. You excited, Lucy? Okay, let's go. This is fun and different. They have mounted police here.
Okay, 0 to 5-year-olds. If you don't have a partner, sorry, you can't do it with the parents.
Claire, are you excited?
Hold this. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Hold this. Don't drop it. Only one time.
Clara, you gotta hold it up higher, Clara. Oh.
I say go, you're going to toss it to your partner. If your balloon breaks, you're out and go ahead and leave the area. Go. Toss.
Yeah, Lucy.
Toss.
Oh.
Okay. There's the
Yeah.
relax. Everybody else leave.
This activity is called Escalante Days, and they had a chainsaw competition, and they had kids fishing coins out of sawdust, and they have water balloon tossing, and there's lots of booths and snacks and activities. It was lots of fun, and we're going to go head back to our rental house now. We ended up leaving Dolores, and then we got notified that there was this free train museum, so we turned around and came back and are checking it out, and then we will head back to our Airbnb house.
I'm not touching, I'm just looking.
Is there a little miniature guy? Can you point at him? There he is. Where are you? You're in a train? Yeah. Are you driving the train, Lucy? We drove 6 minutes over 6.8 miles and used 2% of the battery, or 1.79 kilowatt hours. It's our last day of our trip, and we're actually on our way home now. We just barely left our Airbnb moments ago, and the car is currently sitting at 95%. I charged it up to like 97% overnight, and it's been sitting for a few hours, and it's gone down a little bit. And right now we're going to be stopping at a place to go swimming. It's called Swasey's Beach. It's up north of Green River, Utah, up there. So it's going to be 3 hours before we get there, though. And so we're just going to drive straight there, and we'll be getting there at 25%. So girls, what did you think of this trip?
Awesome.
I charged the car in the evening just over 4 hours and added 30% to the battery, or just 21 kilowatt hours. This morning I finished topping off the charge to 98% and added 20% to the battery, and that took 2 hours and 49 minutes, and that added 14 kilowatt hours to the battery. The drive to Swasey's Beach lasted 3 hours and 13 minutes, and that took 79% of the battery to drive 177 miles, and that is 60.25 kilowatt hours. There's this place called Hole in the Rock, as you can see behind me. It says Hole in the Rock. That's right here along the side of the highway, south of Moab a bit. And we've never stopped at it. We've always just driven by. We have places to be, but we thought this time we have time, so we're just gonna stop and see what it's all about. It's kind of interesting. They've got various sculptures here, like some elephants, and see over here they've got some other sculptures along the side of the road, and then of course they have the whole gift shop area over there with lots of things to go check out. Cactus? Oh yeah.
Real cactuses.
They are.
Real fake.
I gotcha. Yeah, she's pointing at this one right here. That's the fake one. Looks like it's made out of bowling balls. All right, let's go exploring, Lydia.
That's a lawnmower.
Oh yeah? You're right. It's a rotary mower. Oh, hillbilly lawnmower.
Albert? People who are buried here.
You can get in here. Look at that bowl. All of the stats of this drive are actually included in my prior stats because when we stopped at Hole in the Rock there was no data reception for the car, so Teslafy didn't know that we actually stopped, and so the time on the previous one was maybe a little bit longer because that would have included the time that we were at Hole in the Rock, but all the distances and quantities of energies are the same. This was my first time ever driving on this road north of Green River, Utah, and I was surprised at the beauty of the valleys here and the farming that happens all around between the desert cliffs and the river. And I highly recommend coming and checking out Swasey's recreation area. It's a pretty cool place. We are just arriving at the beach area that we're going to swim at, and this is off of Green River, and this is the actual Green River, and we are just north of the city called Green River, and we're on this gravel road, Swasey's Beach Campground. The sand here at Swasey's Beach is really soft.
About sand.
Yeah. It's a really good beach, I'm surprised. Tons of sand and beach all the way out there to the edge of the water. Oh, is that why you were running?
Yeah.
There's some good rapids over there. I found Lydia out there sitting down with her feet up in the air because the sand was too hot, so I had to carry her to the water. Lucy, how does the water feel?
Great.
Yeah, it does. What do you think, Lyd?
They just got hot again.
Yeah, of course they do, yeah.
Run and go on. I'm gonna make some. So we get some dry sand.
You got dry sand?
And then I make it mud. And then I put it into my mud storing spot.
Join us. Did you get shoes because of the hot sand?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably going to have to carry Lydia and Lucy back.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna run.
You better run, otherwise your feet are going to be hurting. It's real close to 100 degrees here right now.
Not even hot.
Not even? Did you know it's about 102 degrees here right now?
No.
Yeah. It's very hot. Did you find a sweet piece of driftwood? Not sure what I just... Oh, you're getting it clean? Okay. I had never heard of this beach along the side of Green River here until last night. Actually, some of our friends brought it up, and I'm really impressed with it. It's actually way cooler than I thought. It would be a way bigger beach, way nicer sand. It's a very pleasant area. It just happens to be extremely hot here right now at just over 100 degrees. But that's okay. We're not going to be here for a crazy long time. It's just kind of a rest break between our legs of journey. We drove for almost the entire battery on the way here, so we drove for 3 hours. The battery's down to, I think it was 17% when we parked here. And we'll be charging up in the Green River supercharger, and then we will continue on our way, and we'll maybe stop in the Price supercharger, or we might just go all the way home. But this was a nice break in the middle of our journey. It's about 3 hours on either side, and it gives the kids a chance to have some fun, and we could experience a new place. Are you swimming in deep water? Oh wait, what?
What? I'm not so play.
Oh, did you put your face in the water, Lydia? Did you mean to do that? Cold, Luce? finished swimming here at the river, at Green River, and we're just heading out to Green River, the city now, to the supercharger in that city to fuel up. If you look here, the car is sitting at 15%, and so we are estimated to arrive there at 8% at this point. Girls, what did you think of the river? Did you have so much fun swimming? Yep. This drive was only 8 minutes and used 6% of the battery to drive 10 miles and used 4.58 kilowatt hours. We are now at the Green River supercharger. We're only going to be here long enough to get to the Price Utah supercharger. So that's the plan. So actually I'm going to cancel where we're navigated to right now. We'll close out the energy screen. We'll bring up superchargers and we're going to go to Price. And it's going to give us what the charge estimate is for that. The reason why we're doing this is just because the car will charge the fastest, the more empty the battery is. And so we're plugging in here at, I think it was 10 when we plugged in, 10%. And so we're going to be here for just 20 minutes and then we'll go to Price. We'll charge just enough to get home from there. That charging session was 20 minutes and added 41% to the battery, or 29 kilowatt hours. The following drive was then 58 minutes and we drove 66 miles and that used 40% of the battery, or 31 kilowatt hours. We are plugged in at the Price supercharger and look at that. We're getting the charge rate right up there to near its maximum of 130. We are routed to near our house and it's estimating that we'll be charging for 25 minutes. There's a Dairy Queen right here in the parking lot of the supercharger, which is convenient for us. It's dinner time, so we're gonna grab dinner here while the car is charging for half an hour. All right, we ate dinner longer than we needed to for the car, and so it's up to 83%, and we've taken on 54 kilowatt hours, and we're down to 26 kilowatts. And at this point, we're going to arrive home with 47%. So we're going to get on the road and get home. This charge was 57 minutes long and added 75% to the battery, or 54 kilowatt hours. The following drive was 1 hour and 20 minutes and used 43% of the battery to drive 91 miles. And we're home. Just my thoughts and impressions about this trip in general would be that it worked out better than I expected. I was concerned before going on our last trip to Cane Beds, Arizona, that we wouldn't have enough charging infrastructure because we were going into an area that had no local level 2 charging, and the house we were going to had unknown infrastructure. And it turns out that house had minimal infrastructure, and we just charged off a standard household outlet. And it worked simply because the people that we were with there, which we were there with 5 other families, we only went canyoneering out as a group, and I was the one going, and so I was able to carpool with another car, and Jessica and the girls stayed home. So we didn't need to take our car, and that allowed it to be charging all day long. That particular trip worked, and then this one I wasn't as concerned because I knew that there were other level 2 chargers in the area that I could utilize if I needed to. Now, in this case, I did go to one of those level 2 chargers, and it worked great. Charged at 11 kilowatts, 11.5 kilowatts, which was fantastic. However, that's pretty inconvenient, especially because level 2 charging still requires several hours to fully charge the car. And so that first night, I used it just because I needed to get some electricity in the car right away. And then I plugged it into a standard household outlet that night, and the car still didn't get, I think the next day it was up to like 75%. So, that's where I continued to investigate and discovered that there was the NEMA 1030 outlet available that we could utilize. And with my extension cord setup, I was able to get it to the car, but the car had to be driven into the backyard. And in that backyard, it was fine. There were no irrigation, sprinkler heads to damage or anything like that. So we were able to make it work, and that was much, much more convenient. Those second 2 nights, being able to charge the car fully from that dryer outlet, and that's a 6 kilowatt system. So what I would say in general is if you can at least get a 6 kilowatt connection, that's a 240 volts, 30 amp circuit, charging at 24 amps continuously, then that should work just fine for most people, being able to handle daily driving and then, charging up fully overnight. And in our case, we didn't ever run the battery nearly empty. We were generally starting charging at about 45%. So in general, the first night of this the first night not getting fully charged, that first day when we were going and doing some sightseeing and stuff, I was a little concerned about our charge because we were starting the day at 75% and we were with these other people in gasoline cars that could potentially be driving, who knows. There was some discussion about potentially going to Telluride to do some things there. And that was, I can't remember off the top of my head, I'll put it here on the screen, but it was a little over an hour drive one way. And with as many miles as that was, and at that time we were already down to like 63%, I was like, yeah, we're right on the edge of being able to handle that. And I'm just glad the group decided to not do that. But that was potentially going to be limiting us. In general, on this trip, we weren't limited. Being in an electric car in a remote location, nowhere near any superchargers, we didn't have to compromise. But it did require some extra effort on my part trying to find a place to get the car charged up, because standard household sockets, nowhere near enough power. So, in general, we pulled it off. It was a great, fun trip. We love driving this car. Obviously, we've gone on many road trips, and it works just fine. And even if you're going into these remote and rural locations, but this one and the Cane Beds, Arizona one, definitely required some extra special planning on my part to just try to make sure I could pull it off. And with that, I hope it's been useful seeing what Tesla is capable of, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.